He knows the real, so anybody that's a man at heart can be honest with themselves, you know. So he knows I won that fight, and I feel like he know I deserve a rematch.
A fighter, but you're stealing credit for my victory. And not only that, if your fight would have caught up, and then we had a bit of back and forth, and I was just like, do you know what?
Move you did. Now it's how insulted you are, or how triggered you are, how you're going to react to that. Are you going to let a man mug you off, call you a dog to your face? How are you going to react? Are you going to come back with some facts? Are you going to come back with violence? You don't know. So I want to see how that interaction is.
Jermaine Franklin attacks Moses Itauma and demands for the rematch. After the brutal loss, Franklin didn't hold back, claiming it was a robbery and that the fight was intentionally stopped against him. You can hear the frustration in his voice as he insists he wasn't hurt, demanding an immediate rematch and questioning the referee's decision in anger and disbelief. Jermaine Franklin doubles down on his anger, insisting he doesn't respect Moses Itauma's power at all. He claims he was never truly hurt or fazed during the fight, and says Itauma failed to earn his respect with damage. Franklin goes even further, repeating his robbery claims and arguing the stoppage denied him a fair chance to continue.
I don't respect shit. You gotta hurt me for real. If you hurt me, then I respect it. But I didn't feel like he hurt me good enough for me to, respect any power. So, I mean, he can hit, but I'm not saying he's weak or anything, but I wasn't hurt, I wasn't fed.
Moses Itauma fires back and completely shuts down Jermaine Franklin's accusations, saying he's trying to steal credit from his victory. Itauma makes it clear the win belongs to him and not Franklin's excuses. He admits there was heated back and forth backstage, but dismisses Franklin's anger as frustration, even claiming Franklin accused him of cheating in the changing room, escalating the tension even further.
And then I was just like, do you know what? It is what it is, isn't it? And then he obviously came in the change room and he said, obviously, you need to.
The Wade concept shuts down Jermaine Franklin's complaints, questioning how anyone could argue against the stoppage when he was clearly not fit to continue. He suggests Franklin's reaction is just sour grapes, frustration after defeat. On the other side, he praises Moses Itauma heavily, calling it a standout performance and saying the heavyweight division might be looking at a future star with the world now at his feet.
But I don't know how that happens. He was clearly not fit to fight anymore, and it was going to get worse. I just don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. So that could have just been sour grapes, talking about the referee stopped it too early. But Moses Itauma, what a performance. I can't say enough about how excited I am for this kid, and he's got the world in the palm of his hand right now.
Carl Froch breaks down the finish in brutal detail, saying Jermaine Franklin was already out on his feet before the referee stepped in. He describes how Moses Itauma's shots completely drained him, calling it a soul-taking moment. Froch praises the timing and precision, highlighting how even a light jab sent Franklin crashing, sealing a devastating stoppage over a fighter who had never been stopped before.
John, now misfits are talking about maybe something happening, and if that's got any legs, we have to speak to Callis Allen. But if any kind of fight was going to materialise between me and you, it wouldn't be for financial gain. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. There's no money to be had. If I do decide, or if anything can materialise, if this stupidity becomes real because of the misfit scene and because of this YouTube bollocks that's going on, all this bullshit where they're putting mismatches in with each other, I'd be doing it for charity. I don't think you're short of a few quid. I certainly don't need the money. So if it did get to that...
Counterpunch Boxing questions Franklin's version of events, suggesting confusion in the aftermath of the knockout. They point out how Franklin claimed he could have gotten back up, but the fight was already waved off. The discussion turns tense, with doubts raised about whether Franklin is misremembering the moment or simply refusing to accept how badly hurt he actually was when the stoppage came.
How it was, unless he's seen or looked up and seen the ref wave it off and he just kind of laid there for a while. But he said, well, I felt I could get up, but they stopped the fight. I don't know if that's the case. I can't rock with that. I don't know if he intentionally lied or whatever. Maybe because he got hit, maybe he was confused on.
Frank Warren defends the stoppage and praises Moses Itauma's performance, highlighting Franklin's toughness and durability before the fight-ending shots landed. He explains that Franklin had never been stopped before and still got overwhelmed by the precision and patience of Itauma. Warren shuts down critics of the referee, insisting the stoppage was justified after a clean, devastating sequence of punches.
look, he's tough. We know who he was in with. A tough guy, never been stopped. 4 years ago, AJ couldn't stop him. Gillian, 4 years ago, couldn't stop him. He was very patient. He took some really good shots. And you could see him a couple of times loading up to throw that right hand. He boxes well. He's got a good boxing brain. He does his work, gets out, and then comes back. He's back on you. But the shots were brilliant. Those two shots. He knocks him out with the first one, and the second caught him with another hard shot going down. Face down, and the corner is screaming that he shouldn't have been stopped. They're nuts.
Jermaine Franklin admits he fell out of his coach's game plan during the fight, saying he got caught by a punch that dropped him. He insists he still had enough left in him to get back up, but the referee stepped in too early. Franklin believes the stoppage robbed him of a chance to continue, once again hinting that he was never fully beaten and could have recovered if given more time in the ring.
I mean, the sky's the limit. Like, I've never been a quitter, so just back to the drawing board. Got to change some shit up.
Johnny Nelson breaks down Moses Itauma's performance in detail, praising his focus and sharp execution from start to finish. He highlights how Itauma controlled the distance, using smart feints and body shots to break Franklin down mentally and physically. Nelson points out Franklin's reaction slowing under pressure, saying Itauma's speed and timing were simply overwhelming, with every movement keeping Franklin guessing and stuck in survival mode throughout the exchanges.
At points, you thought Franklin, he's gonna test him a bit, he's a bit tricky, but Moses stayed focused, stayed on it, stayed on point, and there was that danger from Franklin there, but Moses dummied. I love how he dummied with the body, dropped the shots in, solid shots in from the sides of the guard, to the point where Franklin, you could see on his face thinking, shit, what am I gonna do? This man's too fast, and Franklin was fast in a couple of his reactions, but Moses, footwork great, hand speed great.
Daniel Dubois calls the stoppage a good decision and credits Moses Itauma for getting the job done cleanly. He acknowledges Franklin's toughness, but shuts down claims of controversy, saying Itauma simply found the right shots at the right time. Dubois also addresses talk about Itauma tiring, suggesting it didn't matter because his consistency and pressure never dropped enough to change the outcome of the fight or the referee's decision.
It was Jermaine's a crafty operator, but he got that stoppage. That was a great stoppage.
A lot of people are saying, look, Moses, he started to blow a little bit. Did you see that he was maybe tiring, or did you feel like there was that consistency of intensity in his fight?
It's a fight. He found the shots. What can I say? Great prospect. Yeah.
Listen, your name.
Adam Smith delivers huge praise for Moses Itauma, suggesting he has the potential to become a generational heavyweight talent. He compares the excitement around him to legends like Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and modern greats, saying there is something special and different about this young fighter. Smith emphasizes that Itauma's presence, skill set, and natural ability are rare, and the boxing world hasn't seen this level of hype in a long time.
I think he's got the ability to be a generational great. I really do. I haven't been this excited about a heavyweight in a long time. I mean, I grew up with Mike Tyson, and of course he just brought something thrilling to the heavyweight division. Yeah, we've had Lennox Lewis, who I think is our greatest heavyweight, obviously Tyson Fury, AJ, David Haye, and many others. But there's something about this guy. There's something about Moses.
Ben Davison responds to the criticism and clears up the mindset behind the game plan, explaining that Jermaine Franklin was never viewed as a walkover opponent. He insists they expected Franklin to bring rounds because of his actual quality, not because he was a stepping stone. Davison emphasizes that people misunderstood their comments, pointing out that Franklin is a genuinely solid fighter who could test anyone on the night. However, he also makes it clear that what they see in the gym with Moses Itauma is on another level entirely, describing a fighter who consistently shows elite potential in training that the public is now starting to witness in real fights.
With it again, when we said Jermaine Franklin would be able to bring rounds, we didn't say that because the walking punch bag. No walking punch bag is going to go rounds with Moses Itauma. We said that because of his quality, and that's what people was missing. Maybe it was the way that we was articulating it, but he's a very, very good fighter. But that's nothing that we see that week in, week out, day in, day out at the gym, so we know what he's capable of.
Lawrence Okoli praises Moses Itauma's performance, highlighting his punch selection, timing, and composure throughout the fight. He acknowledges that Franklin was not an easy opponent, describing him as a clever and experienced fighter who could slip shots and survive early danger. Okolia suggests Franklin did well to give Itauma some rounds, but ultimately the difference came down to class and finishing ability. He frames it as an important step in Itauma's development, testing him against a durable opponent who had been stopped before, yet still couldn't handle the sustained pressure and accuracy coming from the young heavyweight prospect.
Yeah, same way that we all kind of saw and expected. He's a fantastic young fighter with great punch power, great punch selection and timing, so he eventually got the shot off.
He was looking for the rounds, and Jermaine Franklin gave him some good rounds in there. Did you feel like, you know, that was the right level of opponent that he needed for his career?
You know, the guy's very cute, very clever, blocked well, slipped well, got up from the first knockdown. He gave him everything that he could, and Moses was just a bit too much.
It's a silly question.
Dev Sani questions whether Moses Itauma truly needed to answer any serious questions in this fight, pointing out the debate around his stamina and whether Franklin could have changed the outcome if the fight continued. He highlights how Itauma went further rounds than usual, but still finished the job in explosive fashion. Sakni also addresses Franklin's frustration after the stoppage, along with his corner's complaints, suggesting it all stems from disappointment rather than reality. Despite the debate, he concludes that Itauma delivered a dominant and near-flawless performance, ultimately forcing Franklin out of the contest and silencing most doubts inside the ring.
Tonight it was all about answering some questions, right? Did he really answer any? I don't know. I don't know. We got to see him go beyond 2 rounds, which was a bit different to recent fights. It extended to the 5th, and yeah, maybe he was tired at one point. I don't know. He didn't look tired when he knocked him out, did he? I mean, I think it was just a flawless performance from Moses Itauma, and he sent Jermaine Franklin packing, really. I mean, I saw Franklin was complaining afterwards as well, and the corner were complaining about the stoppage. I'm sure
Sean Zittel breaks down how Moses Itauma systematically set up the knockout using smart feints, body work, and controlled aggression. He emphasizes that Itauma never rushed the finish, instead breaking Franklin down with disciplined shot selection and sharp southpaw movement. Zittel also reminds viewers that Franklin is a proven veteran who has gone rounds with elite opposition like Anthony Joshua, yet he barely landed anything meaningful here. That contrast highlights just how effective Itauma's defense, balance, and ring IQ were, making it look like a one-sided technical showcase rather than a risky heavyweight battle.
Beautifully, man. He used his feints, he did invest to the body, straight left hands to the body, and as he went on, those kind of southpaw, Usekian feints, he started using them. Didn't get away from his jab, didn't get greedy. Itauma is a really good veteran. Well, excuse me. Franklin is a savvy veteran. He's a crafty veteran who we know went the distance with Joshua, bloodied Joshua's nose, gave him some fits, landed some good shots, and he really never landed anything of consequence on Itauma, because Itauma's like, I mean, there was some Shakur-like stuff from Itauma as a southpaw with that good balance, that good base.
Eddie Hearn reacts to the fight outcome, admitting that while he expected Moses Itauma to win comfortably, he didn't anticipate the stoppage coming so quickly. He reflects on the early dominance, suggesting there was always a chance of a fast finish, but not at the speed it actually happened. Hearn highlights how Itauma continues to exceed expectations, showing explosive finishing ability even against experienced opposition. The tone of his reaction reinforces just how rapidly Itauma is rising, with even seasoned promoters surprised by how efficiently he is dispatching tough, durable opponents like Jermaine Franklin.
Listen, there's everyone, like, it's a mixture between, that was a mismatch, and you can't have a build-up where people are going, oh, that's an interesting fight, and then he does that and everyone goes, it's a mismatch. We all knew that early on in the fight there was every chance that could happen, but I didn't expect even it to happen that quick. I thought Moses would stop him inside 3 rounds. I said to everybody here tonight, but I didn't expect.
Spencer Oliver evaluates the fight by focusing on how Moses Itauma handled a step up in rounds, noting that he went deeper than usual and still maintained control. He points out that Franklin showed more ambition and resilience than expected, landing some shots and trying to apply pressure. However, Oliver also highlights that Itauma matched that with improved durability and composure, proving he could stay calm under slightly more extended pressure. In the end, he credits the execution and timing of the finish, describing it as a brilliant conclusion to a fight that tested Itauma in small but important ways for his development.
Sort of answered what we needed to know. Listen, he got more rounds in than what we've seen him in previous fights. You know, he hasn't been past 2 rounds for a number of fights now. So we see him go into round 5, which was good. We see him get hit with some shots, which was good. There was more ambition from Jermaine Franklin than I was expecting, but there was also more durability than I was expecting as well. The execution, the finish.
Fabio breaks down Moses Itauma's style as a complete offensive package, highlighting the sheer variety in his skill set. He explains that Itauma isn't a one-punch finisher, but a calculated fighter who builds damage through combinations, angles, and constant pressure. Fabio describes it as a barrage of attacks going up and down the target, breaking opponents mentally and physically. He believes this layered approach makes Itauma extremely dangerous because the referee is often forced to step in once the punishment becomes too much to handle.
Moses just has so many more skills, tools in his toolbox, so much more diversity in the way he's going to go about things. That plus a game plan and putting his punches together, combinations. It's going to be a multitude. It's not going to be one punch bang. It's going to be a multitude of up, down, picking this shot, picking that shot, just a barrage on top. And I think the ref will step in.
Ben Davison explains the tactical mindset behind the stoppage, revealing that the corner planned a controlled breakdown rather than a sudden knockout. He emphasizes that they knew Franklin would need to be softened up before a clean finish could come, and that's exactly how it played out. Davison suggests the strategy wasn't rushed or reckless, but carefully executed through patience and accumulation. The idea was to break resistance gradually, forcing openings rather than chasing early damage. In his view, the stoppage was the natural result of a long-term plan coming together perfectly in the ring.
I got the knockout I trained for, not what I deserve, but what I trained for.
I know you don't like to get caught up in all the talk and all that, and you stick to the game plan, what you're doing, focusing on what you're doing. But Jermaine Franklin is that guy, never been stopped amateur pro.
Teddy Atlas delivers high praise for Moses Itauma, emphasizing that true punchers aren't created, they are born with instinctive power. He describes Itauma as a natural finisher who understands timing, movement, and opportunity. Atlas highlights his ability to draw opponents in, control distance, and then explode with precision when the moment opens up. It's not just raw strength, but intelligent power combined with ring awareness. According to Atlas, this natural gift is what separates ordinary fighters from elite knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
Punches are born, they are not made. Itauma is a puncher, he was born to be a puncher. He could get you to come to him, he could counter you, he could use his legs, he could go catch you.
Moses Itauma reflects on his performance with humility, rejecting hype and focusing on preparation instead of expectation. He explains that despite public pressure and knockout predictions, he stayed disciplined during a 14-week camp and stuck strictly to his game plan. Itauma makes it clear he wasn't chasing a viral finish, but simply executing what he trained for. His calm reaction shows maturity beyond his years, emphasizing consistency and preparation over emotional reactions. The knockout in his eyes was not surprise or luck, but the natural result of focused training and discipline.